you, me, Gidget. For 15 and a half years, my life was a complete and total ick.
This is not a convoy, this is a dream.
For decades, Sally Field kept quiet about what really happened behind the scenes of Smokey and the Bandit. Now, 45 years later, she's finally breaking her silence. From Burt Reynolds' secret struggles to the script she almost turned down, Field is revealing the truth about the 1977 classic and why she refused to speak to Reynolds for the last 30 years of his life. Born on November 6, 1946, in Pasadena, California, Sally grew up caught between two drastically different worlds. Her mother, Margaret Field, was an actress working under Paramount Pictures, surrounding her with the glitz and glam of Hollywood. Her father, Richard Dryden Field, was a strict Army officer, instilling discipline and structure in her life. This mix of showbiz and order shaped Sally into someone both resilient and driven. But behind closed doors, her childhood was far from picture perfect. At just 4 years old, she witnessed her parents' painful divorce, a moment that left a lasting emotional mark. When her mother remarried in 1952, Sally hoped for stability, but instead, her stepfather, Jock Mahoney, brought darkness into her life. Years later, in her 2018 memoir In Pieces, she bravely revealed that Mahoney had sexually abused her throughout her teenage years, a secret she carried in silence for decades. Despite the turmoil at home, Sally found solace in acting. Spending time on film sets with her mother, she became mesmerized by the magic of Hollywood. School became her escape, and she discovered that performing allowed her to express emotions she couldn't share elsewhere. While attending Portola Middle School and Birmingham High School in Van Nuys, acting became her lifeline, offering a way to survive the chaos of her personal life. Then, at 17 years old, everything changed. A talent agent noticed her at a high school party and suggested she audition for an acting workshop at Columbia Studios. What seemed like a small opportunity soon turned into the beginning of something far greater. It was during this time that she caught the attention of Marcia Levy, a casting director searching for fresh talent. In 1965, Sally landed her first major role, starring in the TV series Gidget. The show followed the life of Frances Gidget Lawrence, a teenage surfer girl navigating life in Southern California. At just 18 years old, Sally beat out 75 other actresses to win the part, charming audiences with her warmth, wit, and undeniable energy. The show premiered in September 1965, and while it quickly became a fan favorite, Gidget was unexpectedly canceled after just one season, with its final episode airing in April 1966. For many young actresses, an early career setback like this would have meant the end of Hollywood dreams, but Sally's fate took an unexpected turn. Despite its cancellation, Gidget found new life in reruns, drawing in a devoted teenage audience during the summer months. This surprising wave of popularity solidified Sally's status as a rising star, proving that she had a unique ability to connect with audiences in a way few others could. Determined to capitalize on her newfound success, ABC quickly sought out another project for her, leading to her next iconic role, The Flying Nun. When The Flying Nun premiered on September 7, 1967, Sally Field found herself in the unlikely role of Sister Bertrille, a young nun who could miraculously fly due to her lightweight frame and oversized cornet. The concept was unusual, even for television, but her charm and warmth turned the character into an audience favorite. The show ran for 3 seasons, totaling 82 episodes, and became a cultural hit. However, behind the scenes, Field was miserable. Despite the success of The Flying Nun, she hated every moment of it. As a young actress eager to explore complex, mature roles, she felt trapped in an industry that refused to see her as anything beyond the sweet, innocent girl next door. The more she tried to prove herself, the more Hollywood continued offering her the same type of roles, and the frustration grew unbearable. Determined to take control of her career, Field made a risky decision. She refused to accept any sitcom roles for nearly 3 years, from 1973 to 1976. At a time when steady television work was crucial for actors, this gamble could have ended her career altogether. Instead, she chose to reinvent herself. She enrolled at the Actors Studio in Los Angeles, training under the legendary Lee Strasberg. There, she dedicated herself entirely to method acting, spending long hours refining her craft, attending intense workshops, and embracing the process of becoming a serious actress. During this difficult transition, Field battled depression and an eating disorder, a struggle she later revealed in her 2018 memoir, In Pieces. The overwhelming pressure to break free from her past roles took a significant toll on her mental and physical health, but she refused to give up. Her first breakthrough came in 1976 with Stay Hungry, a comedy drama directed by Burt Reynolds. In the film, she played Mary Tate, a gym receptionist who falls for a wealthy businessman, played by Jeff Bridges. The role pushed her outside her comfort zone, particularly because it required her to appear partially nude on screen. To prepare, she adopted a strict diet and exercise regimen, losing 10 pounds to match the look of her character. The film also introduced Arnold Schwarzenegger in his first major acting role as bodybuilder Joe Santo. Field later praised Schwarzenegger's work ethic, admiring his dedication despite his inexperience in acting at the time. Though Stay Hungry was released in April 1976, it failed to make a significant impact at the box office, earning only $5 million. However, it found a cult following over time, and critics praised Field's performance. The film may not have launched her into stardom, but it did earn Schwarzenegger a Golden Globe for New Star of the Year, marking the start of his legendary acting career. That same year, Field's true turning point arrived when she landed the role that would change everything, playing the title character in the television miniseries Sybil. The story, based on a true account, followed a young woman suffering from dissociative identity disorder as a result of severe childhood abuse. This was a career-defining moment, demanding an emotional depth and complexity she had never been allowed to explore before. To prepare for the role, Field spent 6 months researching the disorder, working with a dialect coach to perfect each of Sybil's 13 different personalities. Every alter ego had distinct mannerisms, speech patterns, and emotional nuances, requiring her to fully immerse herself in each one. Determined to deliver an authentic and gripping performance, she observed patients in psychiatric hospitals, taking detailed notes to ensure she portrayed the condition with accuracy and sensitivity. Filming Sybil was an intense and physically exhausting experience. The production lasted 12 grueling weeks, with Field working 16-hour days. When Sybil finally aired on NBC in November 1976, it became a massive television event, drawing in an audience of over 92 million viewers, nearly half of the U.S. population at the time. Critics hailed Field's performance as groundbreaking, recognizing her ability to completely transform herself on screen. Her performance earned her the first Emmy Award of her career for Outstanding Lead Actress. During her emotional acceptance speech, she expressed just how much the award meant to her, saying, "This means more to me than I can possibly say. It validates everything I've been working towards for the past decade." The success of Sybil transformed Sally Field's career in ways she had never imagined. She had spent years fighting against the image Hollywood had imposed on her, But this role finally proved she was more than just a television actress. For the first time, she felt truly seen. In 1977, her career took an unexpected turn when she was cast in Smokey and the Bandit. Up until that point, she was primarily known for her roles in TV shows like Gidget and The Flying Nun, and no one had considered her for an action film. The studio initially had doubts, believing a more glamorous actress would be better suited for the role. But Burt Reynolds, already a major star at the time, insisted that Sally was perfect. He fought to get her cast, believing she had the charisma and talent to bring the character to life. Filming began on May 23, 1977, in the sweltering heat of Georgia, with temperatures soaring past 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. The budget was tight, just $4.3 million, which meant long, grueling hours on set, particularly during the high-speed car chase sequences. At 41, Burt was at the peak of his career, while 30-year-old Sally was eager to break free from the limitations of her television past and prove herself as a leading lady in film. Despite the challenges, the atmosphere on set remained lighthearted, largely due to Burt's constant practical jokes and playful antics, which kept the crew entertained. When Smokey and the Bandit premiered on May 27, 1977, it became an unexpected box office sensation, raking in over $126 million. The film's massive success led to 2 sequels and cemented Sally as a rising film star. Beyond its impact on her career, the movie also sparked a whirlwind romance between her and Burt, a relationship that would define much of her personal life in the years that followed. From the moment they met, their chemistry was undeniable. Their easy banter and mutual attraction were evident on screen, adding authenticity to their characters' relationship and contributing to the film's success. Off-screen, their bond quickly intensified. Sally was drawn to Burt's charisma and confidence, while Burt, 11 years her senior, was captivated by her intelligence and spirit. However, what started as an exhilarating romance soon became complicated and tumultuous. Burt had long been accustomed to being the center of attention, and as Sally's star began to rise, cracks in their relationship appeared. During a promotional event for the film, Sally found herself surrounded by adoring fans, many of whom were asking for her autograph instead of Burt's. He was visibly annoyed, a glimpse of the jealousy and insecurity that would later play a larger role in their relationship. Although there was deep affection between them, the dynamic between Hollywood's most charming leading man and a rising actress eager for independence proved to be challenging. Sally later described their relationship as passionate yet confusing, filled with both love and conflict. One of the biggest struggles she faced was Burt's controlling nature. In her memoir, she wrote, "From the moment I walked through the door, it was a way to control me." Despite the undeniable attraction between them, the power struggle in their relationship became overwhelming. Sally knew she had to make a choice, not just about Burt, but about the kind of career and life she wanted for herself. Sally Field's career reached a turning point in 1979 when she took on the role of Norma Ray, a part that was originally meant for a more established Hollywood star like Jane Fonda. Despite not being the first choice, Sally embraced the challenge with a determination that would redefine her career. To prepare for the role, she immersed herself in the world of textile workers, spending weeks inside a real-life cotton mill in Alabama, learning firsthand the struggles of the working-class women she was set to portray. On set, she was fearless. She insisted on doing her own stunts, including the now iconic scene where she stands on a work table, defiantly holding up a Union sign. The scene, shot in the sweltering heat of a deafening factory, required multiple takes before the director was satisfied. Every drop of sweat, every hoarse cry, and every determined stance added to the raw authenticity of her performance. When Norma Rae hit theaters, it became an unexpected box office success, earning $22 million, a considerable sum at the time. More importantly, it cemented Sally's place as a powerhouse actress. Critics praised her ability to balance grit with vulnerability, making Norma Rae not just a symbol of activism, but a fully realized, deeply human character. That same year, she took home her first Academy Award for Best Actress, delivering a heartfelt speech in which she honored the real-life woman who inspired the role and thanked the film's director. The film also earned her international recognition when it was screened at the prestigious Cannes Film Festival. When Norma Rae was shown at Cannes, she sat in the audience, terrified. At the end of the screening, there was complete silence, and for a moment, she thought the film had been a failure. Then, the audience rose to its feet, applauding for a full 10 minutes. The overwhelming reception left her speechless. Just days later, she won Best Actress at Cannes, a moment that solidified her transition from television star to respected film actress. While her career soared, her relationship with Burt Reynolds crumbled. They had been together since 1976, and at first, he had been her biggest champion. But as her success grew, so did his resentment. He had always been the bigger star in their relationship, but now, Sally was winning prestigious awards and commanding the spotlight in a way that unsettled him. The tension escalated when Sally told Burt she was going to Cannes. Rather than celebrating her moment, he dismissed it, sarcastically suggesting she wouldn't win anything anyway. When her success continued, his bitterness deepened. By the time the 1980 Oscars came around, Sally had been nominated for Best Actress for Norma Rae. It was the biggest night of her career, yet Burt refused to attend. Instead, he told the press that Hollywood didn't care about real acting, a remark that stung, as it felt like a direct dig at her. Refusing to let his negativity overshadow the moment, Sally attended the ceremony with David and Judy Steinberg, two close friends who made sure she had a night to remember. They picked her up in a limo stocked with champagne, helping her shake off any lingering sadness. When her name was called as the winner, she walked onto the stage radiating joy, giving a speech filled with gratitude and pride. Notably, she never mentioned Burt, his absence from her words as clear as his absence from the event. Though they remained together for a few more years, something had fundamentally shifted. Sally's success had created a wedge between them that could not be repaired. Their once electric relationship began to fizzle, and the growing resentment and control became impossible to ignore. Despite the personal challenges she faced, her career continued to thrive. Just 5 years after winning her first Oscar, she found herself nominated again for Places in the Heart in 1984. In this emotionally charged drama, she portrayed Edna Spaulding, a widow struggling to keep her Texas farm afloat during the Great Depression. Initially, Sally was hesitant to take on the role, rejecting it 3 times because she feared it was too similar to Norma Rae. But director Robert Benton refused to give up on her. He even went to her house, spending hours convincing her that she was the only actress who could do the character justice. Determined to give another authentic performance, Sally threw herself into preparation. She lived with a real farm family in Texas, waking up at dawn to experience their daily struggles. Her dedication paid off. When the film premiered, critics and audiences were moved by her raw, heartfelt portrayal. The role once again proved her incredible depth as an actress, and the industry took notice. On March 25, 1985, at the 57th Academy Awards, Sally Field once again found herself on stage, accepting her second Oscar for Best Actress. In what became one of the most iconic acceptance speeches in Oscar history, she stood in front of her peers and declared, "You like me. You really like me." It was more than just a moment of joy. That moment became one of the most iconic in Academy Award history, symbolizing her triumph over years of struggling to be taken seriously as an actress. Following her second Oscar, Field proved her range by taking on roles in vastly different films. In Steel Magnolias, 1989, she played M. Lynn Eatonton, a mother grappling with the devastating loss of her daughter, Shelby, played by Julia Roberts. The funeral scene remains one of the most emotionally powerful moments of her career, capturing a mother's raw grief with heartbreaking authenticity. Steel Magnolias featured a star-studded cast that included Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine, and Daryl Hannah. Yet Field's performance stood out. Interestingly, she wasn't the studio's first choice for the role. Meg Ryan and Deborah Winger had been considered before she stepped in, delivering a performance that would go down as one of her most unforgettable. A few years later, she showcased her comedic side in Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993, playing Miranda Hillard, a mother navigating life after divorce. Mrs. Doubtfire became a massive hit, grossing over $441 million worldwide and proving Field's ability to balance humor with heartfelt storytelling. As she entered the next phase of her career, she took on more mature and complex roles. In Forrest Gump, 1994, she played Mrs. Gump, the devoted mother of Tom Hanks's titular character. Though she was only 10 years older than Hanks, a combination of makeup and costume design made her transformation convincing. The role was deeply emotional, as she portrayed a woman who, despite the odds, instilled wisdom and resilience in her son. Her performance earned her a Screen Actors Guild Award nomination, further cementing her reputation as one of Hollywood's most versatile actresses. In 2000, she starred in Where the Heart Is, alongside Natalie Portman, playing a maternal figure to a young woman struggling to rebuild her life. Proving she wasn't confined to film and television, Field made a bold move in 2002 by stepping onto the Broadway stage in The Goat, or Who is Sylvia? The play, known for its dark and shocking themes, was a significant departure from her previous work. Her theatrical debut stunned audiences, earning her widespread praise and showing she was just as commanding on stage as she was on screen. In 2006, she found success again in television with Brothers and Sisters, playing Nora Walker, a widow navigating family secrets and personal growth. Initially, the role belonged to Betty Buckley, but the producers felt Field could bring more depth and relatability to the character. Their instincts were correct. Her performance as a mother, juggling grief, self-discovery, and the struggles of her grown children resonated deeply with audiences. The show ran for 5 seasons, with Field appearing in 109 episodes, proving that her television magic was still very much alive. In 2007, she won an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress for her performance in Brothers and Sisters. The ceremony, held on September 16, 2007, marked 30 years since her last Emmy win for Sybil. One of her most celebrated performances came in 2012, when she portrayed Mary Todd Lincoln in Steven Spielberg's Lincoln. This role didn't come easily. Spielberg had her in mind for the part as early as 2005, but the film's production faced several delays. Determined to embody the complex and often misunderstood First Lady, Field gained 25 pounds and deeply studied Mary Todd Lincoln's life. She convinced Spielberg to let her audition by performing alongside Tommy Lee Jones, immersing herself in the historical role with unwavering dedication. The defining moment of her preparation came when she met Daniel Day-Lewis, who was portraying Abraham Lincoln. They spent hours improvising in character, fully embodying the Lincolns to establish their on-screen dynamic. Both Spielberg and Day-Lewis were so impressed that they agreed she was the perfect choice. When Lincoln premiered on November 9, 2012, Field's performance was met with universal acclaim. Critics praised her for portraying Mary Todd Lincoln as a brilliant but emotionally fragile woman, haunted by personal loss while standing by her husband during one of the most turbulent times in American history. Her portrayal earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress, along with Golden Globe and BAFTA nominations. Though she didn't take home the Oscar, many considered it one of the finest performances of her career. In 2023, Sally Field received one of the highest honors of her career when she was inducted into the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, a recognition that placed her among the most respected figures in American history. It was a testament to the impact she had made, not just in Hollywood, but also in culture and society at large. A year earlier, she made headlines for a surprising revelation about Smokey and the Bandit. In a 2022 interview, she confessed that her on-screen kiss with Burt Reynolds was the worst she had ever experienced. She didn't mince words, saying, "It was just not something he did very well," even joking about the excessive drooling. Fans were shocked, especially considering the electric chemistry she and Reynolds had in the film. While the film captured the fun and adventure of the open road, Field and Reynolds' real-life relationship was far from carefree. Their connection was instant and intense, something Field described as a perfect match of flaws in her memoir. They had known each other for just 4 days when they started dating, but it felt, as she put it, like 4 years. Yet behind Reynolds' rugged charm, Field saw troubling signs. At 41, he was already struggling with a heavy reliance on prescription drugs, including Percodan and Valium, and even mysterious injections into his chest. Concerned for his health, she secretly arranged for him to visit a doctor at the Miami Heart Institute. When his test results came back clear, she urged him to address his stress and anxiety, but Reynolds dismissed her concerns, calling them self-delusional poppycock. Their relationship was filled with contradictions. They loved each other, but Reynolds' controlling nature and substance use strained their bond. Years later, in a 2015 interview with Vanity Fair, Reynolds called Field the love of my life and admitted, "I miss her terribly. I don't know why I was so stupid." But it was too late. By then, Field and Reynolds had not spoken in 3 decades. Outside of that relationship, Field experienced 2 marriages of her own. Her first was with Stephen Craig, a high school sweetheart she wed on September 16, 1968 in Las Vegas. At 21, she was filled with hope, and they honeymooned in Jamaica, ready to start their lives together. They had 2 sons, Peter, born November 10, 1969, and Eli, born May 25, 1972. Both followed their mother into the entertainment industry, with Peter becoming a screenwriter on major films like Top Gun, Maverick, and The Batman, while Eli became a director, known for Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Despite the joy of parenthood, Field eventually realized she had married for the wrong reasons. She later admitted she was driven by fear of losing Stephen rather than true love. Their relationship became even more strained when Craig abandoned his Hollywood ambitions, embracing a hippie lifestyle that led him away from Field's fast-paced career. The contrast between their worlds became too much. Their separation in 1973 was followed by a lengthy divorce, finalized on August 1, 1975. Field's second marriage came nearly a decade later. On December 15, 1984, she wed film producer Alan Greisman, hoping for a fresh start after her tumultuous romance with Reynolds. Graceman, best known for producing hits like Fletch and The Bucket List, brought a sense of stability into her life. Together, they had a son, Samuel, born December 2, 1987. Becoming a mother again at 41 filled Field with happiness, and she embraced this new chapter with renewed dedication. Despite their strong start, the marriage faced its own struggles. Their careers and personal differences slowly created distance, and after nearly a decade together, they divorced on June 24, 1994. As a single mother to Samuel, Field shifted her focus to her family and activism. Her passion for LGBTQ+ rights grew when Samuel came out as gay at 19. In 2012, she was honored with the Ally for Equality Award by the Human Rights Campaign, with Samuel presenting the award to her. In an emotional speech, he spoke about how much her support had meant to him. Whether in Hollywood or on the front lines of activism, Sally Field never backed down. She built a career on defying expectations, proving she was far more than just a sitcom star. Through her resilience, talent, and fearless advocacy, she cemented her place as one of the most influential actresses and activists of her time.